Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a best of 7 between Maru here in the top right spawning as our red Terran player and Solar in the bottom left as our blue Zerg, both playing for Team Onside. These two have a little bit of history between them in which most of the time Maru ended up being the lucky one, the fortunate one, the winner between the two. This time it's going to be a grand finals best of 7 of the Oli Molly tournament. It's been a tournament series that was ran by Oli Molly and now is coming to an end. I believe this is the last ever tournament, so a pretty big deal. Has supported the Korean scene for a very long time, and now it's here. Maru versus Solar. How exciting. Opening up with a CC first against a hatchery first, as they're just chatting away. And I'm not quite sure what they're saying, but I'm sure they're having a great time. If he wants him to take home 2 beers tonight, and Maru said no, 1 beer is going to be fine. And then Solar said, okay. Apparently they're not massive drinkers over in Korea. Just 1 beer per person is going to be okay. I'm just interpreting based on, you know, what I would imagine both of these players would be talking about. Surely in such an important grand final like this, the main topic of discussion is going to be the amount of beers they will drink tonight after they beat one another. As we have a double gas. Ooh, double gas coming out of Maru here. Love to see it. And that means most likely we're going to see a Reaper first, as well as a quick factory coming out of our South Korean Terran player, who is often known as the best in the biz. Actually the best in the biz. Winning the G5L trophy a couple of months ago after taking down his 5th GSL, the only player to ever do that. Solar, however, won the most recent GSL Super Tournament. Fantastic performance then flew over to Home Story Cup to perform slightly worse, and I think getting knocked out in the 2nd round of the losers bracket by, I want to say, Showtime, after getting 4th place in his group. So yeah, it's been an inconsistent period, that's for sure, for Solar. Maru actually not opening with a Reaper at all. It's just going to be Marine into Reactor here with a fast factory. So some quick Hellions coming out of our Terran player, and it's going to probably follow this up with a fast Starper. So this almost feels like a battle cruiser build in some way. The amount of gas that we're getting here in the early game is going to be extraordinarily high. Don't know what this means. Solar probably taunting him a little bit. I won the most recent Super Tournament. I am the best. And then Maru says, no, I am number 1. You are merely number 2. But he wrote the word 2 out in characters rather than typing the number 2, actually. Alright, I don't know what any of this means. I was lying all along. 2 factory opener, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Hello, Maru, what are we doing here? Triple factory opener. Whoa, 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 what? Okay, now we're talking. This is one of those build orders that when you off-race with your Zerg and you're about 5.1k MMR, you'll play against every, couple of weeks. This is not considered a viable build order at all at the highest level, and I've actually never seen it before in my entire life. I am really curious what this is going to pan out to be. Are we going to see just a lot of Hellions with fast Blue Flame, or is this going to be like Hellion Cyclone and basically a 2-base all-in? Could also technically be tanks, albeit a little bit less likely. Like just a pure 2-base mech push. I honestly haven't seen a 2-base mech all-in in high-level Terran versus Zerg in over... Wait, what is this crap? In over a very long time. Wait, how does this work? There's a watchtower blocking the gold. This is a gold with... How many? Is this 8 mineral patches? I think so. So it's a huge gold. Oh, if you kill the cooling tower here... You kill the cooling tower... This will die, and then you need to clear the rocks, I guess. I guess that's what happens. Barracks is flying across the map right now. Look at this. Solar with the question marks. And Maru with the haha. The keke. Cyclone pops out here. Is going to get spotted by this Overlord. This is really weird, because it's just going to get scouted. Maru must actually believe that this is pretty okay. We don't have the upgrade for the Cyclones yet. The super missiles, whatever they're called. I can't get to the name right now, but there is a name for them, the super missiles. It makes the Cyclone shoot very fast and deal more damage against armored units, which can be quite useful against buildings as well, of course. Road Warren on the way. First Hellions are out trying to do something here. This is not a great map necessarily for Cyclones, because you need to run up a lot of ramps, which could be painful. 3rd CC is going to be built on position, and, well... 1 Cyclone trying to take out a Queen, not quite going to work out. Surely there's an armory here for Hellbats. No, there isn't. So the links try to go in. Depot's not going to be erased in time. There's also nothing that blocks these links from going into the main base. So it's not just the natural that's potentially in danger. It could be a whole lot more. Cyclones connecting with an Overlord here. First 3-4 workers are going to end up falling as this Cyclone has to move back in towards the main base. From here on could get repaired, or with a cheeky SCV pool probably is going to be fine. Hellion pops out as well with the blue flame available. Here come the cars moving in to deal some damage. Roaches are out though in the main. At the same time, Cyclone's trying to rotate towards the third base. This is a very active game here coming out of Maru, but he's not really getting the damage done whatsoever. He just lost a bunch of units, only killing 5 workers, not really taking out any of these queens either. So queens are all still alive with 8 queens. 8 drones have gone down. It is 46 against 45 workers, but I really like this opener here for Solar, despite the worker count being very close. Mech Field Accelerator, that's the name of the super shooting rockets. But I just don't quite see how Maru is going to turn this game around. Losing those Hellions means that links are very strong against the Cyclones. They're just question marking each other the entire time. It's an interesting start here of this Grand Final. Don't forget, this Grand Final is also going to be played on completely different maps, as the first map is going to be Altitude here. A snowy map, probably at a very high altitude. That's where the map gets its name from. And now we have... what? A double starport transition. This is actually how people on the BattleNet forum say that you should be playing TVZ. It's like, oh, why don't you start with 3 factories from 2 bases and then transition quickly into battle cruisers? Like, well, that doesn't actually work at the highest level, but then Maru shows up and actually starts doing it at the highest level. Supply still surprisingly even as well. Spire is about to finish up, and that could potentially have some bad consequences here for Maru. Does he have any real anti-air except for those Cyclones? No, not at all, actually. But at the same time, does he need it? We have an armory, a second armory, no fusion core. Oh, it could just be Banshee. He's actually just going to be messing Banshee, I guess. In that case, these Mutas might deal a little more damage. Hellions go in for a run by. Can't quite morph into Hellbats yet. The armories aren't done yet. And also, even if they could, it would have taken way too long without the smart service upgrade. Is this the second barracks that has been built? Yeah, 1 barracks has gone down. Of course, you need a barracks to add more factories into the mix. So I guess that's why it's been rebuilt. Maybe you also need it for an armory. I don't think so. I think you just need a factory for an armory. But I could be wrong here. Cyclone's actually putting in some work here against these queens. Dealing a fair chunk of damage. Let's see, what else can we do? Not all that much, honestly. Maru just down in supply by a pretty decent margin. Roach is moving forward. We'll get 2 Cyclone kills there as the Mutas fly around. There's not going to be anything defensively here. I think Maru is just dead. This build absolutely did not work. Hyperflight rotors are being researched, so is Cloak. 2 tanks are on the way, and yep, here we go. Mutas fly in. That's 7 Mutalisks, but that's 7 too many that I just don't think Maru can really deal with. It's going to end up almost losing another Cyclone. There's only 5 Cyclones out, with no more on the way. No turrets whatsoever either. This is just game. What a weird build order here. A 2-base Mechalin into a 3-base Banshee transition after the Mechalin kind of failed. Just a really weird setup. Solar takes game number 1 here on Altitude. And we'll be heading into our second game. Second game will be played on Cryolysis. Not quite sure what that word means. But once again at high altitude because we have snow falling from the sky. So I bet it means something like altitude, just in Latin. I bet that's going to be it. Let's take a look at some of the features of this map now that we're here anyway. We have ice ridges. Reminding me a little bit of Ice Age. God. That has to be one of the greatest movies that has ever been made. I hate the fact that Ice Age 2 to 5 are so much worse than Ice Age 1. I'm not sure if there's an Ice Age 5. I'm pretty sure there is. But Ice Age 1 was actually the perfect movie. I watched it as a kid. I thought it was hilarious. I loved it. I loved the squirrel. I loved Sid. I loved the mammoth. I liked every single character. Then I rewatched it as a young adult when I was 18 or 19, and I thought it still was hilarious. Then I watched it again as an adult when I was like 26, and I thought it was great as well. Like, the animations are so good. That entire movie is so ridiculously funny. It has to be one of my favorite animated movies of absolute all time. Quick suggestion, actually, perhaps nice for the holidays, is that the Christmas movie Klaus it has to be one of the greatest Christmas movies that I've seen, at least in recent times. It's not a classic yet. I think it got released in 2019, but a fantastic Christmas movie. Absolutely brilliant. And I'm loving it. So, if you still need a movie to watch for Christmas, that's going to be the one this time around, let me tell you. What is this opener? Just a Reaper opener into a CC, reactor double gas. Like 2 workers in gas is rallying it in actually. Kind of interesting to see how that works. I'm not entirely sure what the follow-up is going to be. Probably like something like 2-base Banshee. Or sorry, 2-base Banshee, or could be Fusion Core. We have seen Fusion Core builds a lot out of Maru in the past when he was really into Mech. I'm not sure if he's still really into Mech. He might just not be. We have a Marauder. What if it's a Hellbat Marauder all-in? That's also possible. For a while, I really thought the Hellbat Marauder all-in was the most broken build in the entire world. And then I saw it lose 4 times in a row. I was like, oh, never mind. That build sucks. Well, it's just gonna be it's gonna be a Viking here then, isn't it? Huh. Who would have thought? I definitely wouldn't. Fast stim, bunch of Marines. Could still go into like some stim Hellbat push. You see, oh my god! That's Manny over here. The Mill Ursa Duck. I don't think I've ever seen a Mill Ursa Duck in my life. It's one of these critters that just doesn't get built enough in my mind. A lame cleaning bot. These guys I've seen plenty of. That's the one critter I hope never comes back in StarCraft 2. Wait, where did the Mill Ursa Duck go? Oh, here it is. I think it's one of my favorite things on new maps in general, is just seeing what critters are around. Yeah. It's going to be a stim Hellbat build. Look at this. That's going to be a lot of Hellbats, and it's going to be a crap ton of Marines. Will you actually have stim in time? I think so. This is a really wild build. It goes with like, what, 4 Marines with stim. Does add some DPS, I guess, but I don't know. I'm thinking about it thinking, is this better than getting 3 Marauders and Concussive? I don't think so. I guess you can easily transition into a 3-1-1 type of all-in behind this, as we see 2 more barracks going down. But you probably swap the factory then with this barracks. You build a new tech lab with the barracks. And then you get a combat shield going, and you just start producing Marines like a madman. Here we go. Couple of these Hellions moving towards the top left. Oh, it could just be a drop, actually. This is a really weird build order. Yeah, wow, okay. I got it. I see what you're doing here, buddy. Here come the 4 potential Hellbats, straight into the main, dropping into a Spore. Was taking so much damage with this medevac against the Spore. Viking also took a couple of shots. Pretty poor start here for Maru of this push. Viking completely isolated away as well. At the same time, we have 6 Hellbats, a Reaper, and a bunch of Marines over here with Stim. Don't forget, Stim can still be activated. I think Solar's just going to hold this. If he transfuses in time, he's going to miss the first transfuse. Misses the second transfuse as well. 2 Queens go down for free. And now we get a couple of transfuses going, but I mean, this still is fine for Solar, honestly. He's building 8 roaches. He's going to survive, and he'll only lose 4 drones. I just believe that it could have been better. I really do believe it could have been better. This is going into a 2-base all-in here for Maru, but also with a 3rd. I think that is because he saw the roaches. Is he just crap talking? That's anything, man. That push sucked. You're garbage, Maru. Oh, leave me alone. You're being very rude. I'm already down 1-0. Maru actually has a surprisingly deep voice. I thought he was going to have the voice of like a 12-year-old for whatever reason, because whenever I think of Maru, I think of like the pictures in GSL when he was legitimately 13. And in my mind, he had like a really high voice. Then a couple of weeks ago, I met him in an elevator, and he spoke with the other Koreans, and he was so deep. I was like, holy crap. This man has the deepest voice I've heard in my life. Like, I'm not even sure who has a deep voice in music. Johnny Cash? Bum, bum, bum. A little deep, I guess. He's a good Johnny Cash impersonator. If the songs were written in Korean. I'm not sure how much English he actually speaks. I don't think it's all that much. I feel like if you're that good at StarCraft, like Maru is, you don't need to do too many other things correct in life, you know? You can really focus just on one thing. There's no other skills you need to... Look at it. Solar's just continuously crap talking. He's like, man, this game is so easy. Maru, meanwhile, sneakily dropping into the main base, pretending like he's engaged in conversation. He's going to stim in. We'll take out this Spore immediately. Once again, takes 2 shots on the medevac. Really kind of sloppy play here out of the best Terran player in the world right now. Infantry weapons level 1's about to finish up. He's Mudas after Roaches and Ravagers. That is actually weird. And no, not just a little weird. It's kind of really weird. 11 Mutas are going to be great. Do we have Evo Chambers yet? No, there's no Evo Chambers. Holy crap. That could potentially be really bad, couldn't it? Look at this. +2 already starting. +1 armor on the way. It felt like Solar had such a free win if he just would have continued building like Roachling Bane or just taking with Roach. He could have had a really high drone count, but because he wanted to rush into so many Mutas, I guess after last game's success, he decided that it definitely was worth it to go for it again. This is kind of an unfortunate meeting of the minds, as these Mutas are now going to get caught. Yes, they'll probably... No, then they're not even going to be capable of doing anything against these medevacs. Look at this. They're actually being kind of locked up right now. Mutas are forced back to the main base. This is going to be 8 Mutas then. They can do a little bit of harassment. This was honestly the cleanest defense that Maru could have hoped for, because he completely was unaware of what was happening. He found the Mutas mid-map and then was like, okay, now I can respond. Uh-oh, Solar needs to be paying a lot of attention here. One Muta gets down immediately. It will not be coming back alive, as Mutas do not have an ability like Resurrection. One more Muta could end up falling here. 1 Muta, 2 Mutas, 3 Mutas go down. That's 4 total, I think. Yep, there we go. Good start here of the mid-game for Maru. Now, of course, it still sucks that Solar has 79 workers and could be taking a 5th base and is up 20 supply. Like, Solar's still in a good spot, but upgrades are favorable here for Maru. And the fact that he didn't just straight up die is a testament to how good he is at this game. And that he also got a little bit lucky in this game. Let's just face the truth here straight away, because it was a little bit lucky that he found it there. More Mutas are being constructed, as the Muta count is going to continue climbing up to 13. Should have been 17, but 4 Mutas have died without any real reason. I mean, it's not like they did some massive harassment here. 9 SCVs gone down in total. It's not all that much. Mutas looking to die. We're not going to find what they're looking for, though, as all of them will stay alive for now. Kind of open area. Creep spread has been nothing short of fabulous for Solar, as more and more Banes are in production. Question, of course, being here is what is Maru's follow-up plan? Seems to me like it's going to be a bit of a, what's this, 7? 8 racks. Okay, 8 racks. 15 Marines can be produced at a time. And he's just going to max out, I guess, on 2-2 and go for it. Could potentially actually be pretty good here. He's just going to be up in upgrades. Right now, he's up 3 upgrades when it comes to the Ling Bane. He has 2-1 against 0-0. That's not quite what you want if you're Solar. So time needs to be won. Another Muta's gonna get taken out. That brings the total up to 6 right now. I think we have a timing on our hands. Would love to see +3 attack start as well here for Maru. I know that he isn't aware of the situation in the game, but that upgrade could be super massive here. It actually could be huge. Ravagers on the side. Not quite getting the balls yet on the tanks. There we go. Will not catch both tanks. Just one goes down. As Solar's gonna get pushed back pretty significantly here. 2-1 upgrades against a mere 1-1. Tanks sieging up further forward. Not the greatest split there towards the left side. Lots of Marines are getting caught a little bit off guard. Maru continues pushing in. Banes connect with the army. We only have pure Marine left at this point, and there's still 13 Banes as well. This is still going on Creep 2. Oh my god, Maru too slow with the pickup. An uncommon mistake out of him, but it happened. Now +3 start, yeah. He didn't know that it had to be started earlier. If he had started this earlier, then you have a fight like this. Maybe you can max out again and just have so much superior upgrades, right? You're going to be fighting like 3-3 against 1-1, because whenever Solar is going to be defending, he probably doesn't have the cash to start 2-2. You can kind of just sit around with the tanks, and you have something going on. You're not really playing a late game, but you're playing a later stage of the mid game than your opponent is, which could have been huge. Thor is on the way here as well, out of this factory, which is really nice. Would love to see if mines could be constructed, but there's no second factory, there's no fort base yet either, so this is still extremely all-in. Creep is being denied though, and as the queen count is down to 4, I think it's kind of unlikely that we're going to see a lot of creep tumors replacing the ones that just were lost. That is 3-4 Mutas that just went down. Once more, lots of Mutas just kind of dying. Really, not the greatest play with the Mutas out of Solar so far. Lost 15 in this game already, and I want to say at least 12 of them were lost without a real reason. An unforced error, as we'd like to call it in tennis. Now, it is 80 drones against 57 workers still. That just means that the army supply increase that Maru is going to be living through in the next few minutes is going to be much, much bigger when it comes to the total maxed out army. Solar already is practically maxed right now. It's going to get to like 120 army supply, or 119 army supply total, while Maru, well, What is he getting? He's gonna go up to like maybe 140, 143. Is that correct? I think so. It's like a Solar 30 supply more or so. 23 supply more. 24 supply. Counting is difficult. Main base flying over to the 4th as well, so also going to increase his mining. On top of that, even though his upgrades didn't start immediately, there's still going to be a very large timing window in which there will be 3-3 against 2-2. There's even going to be a tiny timing window, I think, where there will be 3-3 against 1-1, but that window is so small that I don't find it realistic that Maru will hit it. So we're just not really looking at that. Ultra Cavern gets thrown down, which is a good call, because all of these barracks right now have reactors rather than tech labs. So the moment any amount of Ultras with chitinous plating come out, this is over. Like, Marines just simply don't kill Ultralisk. They don't. And no matter how well you micro, there's just not enough damage output. So if Solar can survive till that moment, that would be absolutely huge. If Solar can survive till that moment, then he dies and Maru wins. That's pretty much how this game works. Thors are moving forward. I feel like the focus on Thors here was incorrect. I don't think Thors are really doing all that much. Mutas are going to be base trading together with the Link Bane. Some brilliant time-winning moves here coming out of Solar. Maru right now is at peak strength, and Solar isn't at all. I mean, he has the chitinous plating coming in. I would love to see 1 or 2 Ultras already being constructed, even 3 chitinous plating. I'm also a huge fan of Solar just trying to trade units out. The further away from his army, the further away from his bases the big trade is, the better it's going to be. A lot of these bases connecting with Marauders, though, that's not quite what he wanted. Thor's going to tank a couple of these bile shots. We have another big stim coming forward. Baneling count at 27. There's just so many Banes still. Tank does get a pretty massive shot off there. 140 supply against 185. A lot of that's going to be in production, though. Maru going to be pushing in right now. 87 army supply against 93. Chitinous plating won't be done on these Ultras. They'll still be very useful, but will they be useful enough? Where are those 15 extra Banelings coming in from? Okay, all from the main and the natural, I do believe. There is 2 Marauders, and the Marines actually still dealing some damage due to the lack of chitinous plating. Banes are going to connect now. Oh, the army supply is just so favorable here for Maru. Evening out, and we also see this medevac count here. It's absolutely massive. That's kind of crazy. 20 SCVs have gone down at the same. I'm not quite sure how that happened. There's the Mutas just continuously just going around it. Kind of sick. 13 medevacs. So the supply count isn't just pure units. A lot of this is actually in medevacs, and that means that well, if you don't have anything to kill these Ultras either, I guess you're just pretty much straight up going to end up dying. 3-3 is on the way. Chitinous plating has finished up. More Ultras coming out as well. This is a pure Marine army still. Well, pure medevac army at this point still. And yeah, just the links are going to be good enough over here, I do believe. GG gets called as Solar wins game number 2 here in this best of 7. Game number 3 will be played on Lazarus Waste. And for the people that have watched any of the Team Liquid map contest videos, they'll be aware of this map, as this is a map with 4 regular bases each. The natural, the 3rd, and the potential 4th. And then there are 3 bases each that have 10 mineral patches, and 2 gas, of course. And so these 3 and these 3. So what this should do is that in the later game, these bases become more important, and there's more time to kind of fight over the resources. And I think the point of it is that the creator kind of... Ooh, what is this build? Hold that thought, actually. Never mind. Talk about the map later. What is... Ooh. This is a new build that I'm not familiar with. It's just going to be a standard 1 Rex command center with very late gas. So, wait, what is this then? This is going to be like a 3 Rex or something? I mean, you're gonna need gases at some point, that's for sure. Needs a 2nd depot, because you don't have a gas yet. So if you want an SCV and a 3rd Marine at some point, you're going to definitely need that. Okay, I'm not familiar with this build whatsoever. Is this just a rush into triple CC? That is also a possibility. Like, really quick 3rd CC. That would be kind of sick, honestly. Marine makes his way across the map, looking for a kill on an Overlord. He's not quite going to get it yet, but might actually get the 2nd one. Solar moving into position already. This is going to be a straight-up triple CC. Look at that. This is the fastest triple CC build possible, probably. I don't think there's a single triple CC build that will be faster. Even CC first into triple CC without gas would be slower. The simple reason for that is because you need to get a second orbital before the before your command center in that case. So I think it would be slower. Now we're going to see a lift on this barracks. This build is mental. Holy crap. Okay, does he the one Marine? It's like waiting around the corner but showing your pink hat. It's like, well, well, I'm not sure why you took a pink hat on a stakeout, but it's not entirely brilliant. The barracks is flying over right now as... This is an interesting move. Removal, says Solar. Probably forgot to switch the keyboard back to Korean. This is going to take a while. Oh! You know what this is? I'm not sure what this is. But I think this is a brilliant little mind game. That's what I think it is. Well, it got scouted now though. It's not the most brilliant little mind game. If Maru hadn't been running around trying to snipe an Overlord for the past 35 seconds, he perhaps could have denied scouting the entire way through. And then maybe Solar would have believed that it was the weird 2-base Mech again. But then instead it's going to be like an insane stim push off of like triple CC. So that's not happening at all here. It's just going to be a 3-Rex. Honestly, I think if Solar would have done anything aggressive in this game, he would have just straight up won it. And it does look like he's going for some aggression. We have a really fast second gas coming in right now, and we have a Baneling Nest. Yeah, he's going to bust this. He's planning on busting this, and I really like this. He reads this game completely correctly. Oh, he's seen the 3rd CC being done. I didn't realize that was in range. So he saw very little Marine production, knows there's a second barracks. He just knows that it's going to be like a 2 or a 3 barracks. Very little Marines because the first barracks flew around for about 40 seconds. This is a great reactionary play. This is a build that has never been shown before. Solar sees it, understands what's going on, understands the possibilities that the Terran has here, and is going to bust it. It's just going to be, what, 40 links, 6, 7, maybe 8 Banelings? I don't think there's any way in hell that Maru is going to win this. And at least not hold the natural. That is literally impossible. There's 5 Marines right now. These Marines are going to get surrounded. Won't even get to go into the bunker. No, incorrect. 2 Marines will get into the bunker. 3rd Marine is also going to get into the bunker. Baneling's not being morphed yet. Solar smelled an opportunity, and his nose didn't betray him for once. We have 7, 8 SCVs already going down. More needs to happen though for this to be a really good situation for Solar. I actually think that Solar needs to continue going in right now. There's still triple CC behind this. On the other hand, does he actually need to do something? There's like no units here. And he can, that's the point, I guess. He can definitely kill his opponent. I mean, there's 5 Marines, there's 15 Banelings and 38 Links. SCVs, even when they get pulled, will just get blown to shreds by these Banelings. Marines are going to be blown up as well. And yeah, depots will get taken out. Won't even supply block Maru because he has so little supply. Banelings going to connect with Links, SCVs, everything. 3-0 in favor of Solar right now in this best of 7. Putting him on match point. And I think this is going to be the first time in a very long time that Solar could potentially be beating Maru in a series that is in a best of 1. This would be the first time in over a year that Solar would beat Maru in a series that is there's not a best of 1. Actually, even in best of 1, he hasn't beaten him in over a year. I think it's like 2021 or so is the last time that Solar managed to win, somewhere in the start of 2021. June, maybe July. Just looked it up, but I already can't remember anymore. It's a pretty big performance. They've played like 7 or 8 times since then. So we have Maru is going to be opening up with a more standard build this time around. Just most likely going to be a Reaper first. Could still be a Marine first. We have seen him do it in the past. No, it's going to be that fast Reaper. No scout. This guy has balls of steel, doesn't he? Like, what type of player being down 3-0 when the opponent has legitimately 4 chances to win a game? Which player would actually go for a no scout? Solar doesn't roach rush all that much, but he's capable of it. He knows that he's capable of it. He can definitely do it. He's not going to be doing it right now though. Instead it's going to be a standard hatchery first. We see the drones already transferring over, and a fast speed starting. Oh, actually way less gas mining than I would have expected. It's going to be slightly delayed speed here. Marine is a follow-up right now for Maru. Would love to see a triple CC coming out of him. Just once. A standard triple CC opener here into Banshee would be so darn useful. I would love it. Absolutely adore it even. Here comes the reactors. This factory will most likely swap onto that. No second gas yet. I'm definitely feeling the power of a potential triple CC here. Oh, a little bit of a misclick there coming out of Solar. Accidentally attacking his own unbuildable plates. Is going to lose a link due to that. And we'll have to cancel this as well. Reaper will get pushed back and the Creep Tumor can be built pretty much on the edge. 3rd CC indeed is going to be on the way here. And if I know Maru a little bit, and I don't, but if I were to guess what he thinks is, it's just going to be a standard starport. Starport into like into Banshee. It's the most common thing in my mind. You also see the starport starting before the Hellions start. It's pretty much a dead giveaway that it is going to be Banshee. Second gas on the way before Hellions as well. So yeah, I'm really feeling my Banshee prediction right now. A huge fan of this. I think this is completely correct. It's like the last few games against Solar have just been really weird, and I think you want to create normal scenarios, normal situations here in which you can show off your macro prowess, basically. Your ability to win games that you should not be capable of winning after getting behind, and even games, you know, showing that you don't give them out, don't give them away for free. 3 queens in production at a time, as all overlords are popping out here for our good friend Solar, who has his metabolic boost about halfway done. Not quite aware of what's going on, but there's a couple of ways that the Zerg can figure out that it's triple CC. Hellion timing is a big one, because you delay the initial Hellion round due to the starport and the refinery being faster. Oh, it's not going to be Banshee actually, just straight up Liberator. Ooh, it's kind of cute as well. A second thing is the complete lack of depots in the natural wall. It just shows that it's going to be a triple CC. That allows you to delay your spores till, I believe, 445 or 450, something like this. So relatively large delay on the spores. Allows drones to mine a little bit longer. Double eBay already on the way. Oh! He's playing so greedy. No scout. No Banshee. Single Liberator. Probably a Viking as well. Aren't you going to build a Viking here? No, maybe not. Maybe just straight away a Reactor. Into double eBay. Now, this is an extremely greedy build. If he gets away with it, though, he's going to have a fantastic 1-1 timing. He's going to have an even more fantastic 2-2 timing. That's really what it usually revolves around. It's not so much the initial 1-1 timing. It's going to just be with a bunch of Marines, but the 2-2 timing is going to hit like a freaking bag of bricks straight in the face. Now, I've never been hit by a bag of bricks in the face, but I can only assume it's not going to be a very pleasant experience. Like, some things in life you don't have to test. Like, I've never sat on a hedgehog, and I don't want to do that. It sounds like a painful experience. I don't want someone to throw a bag of bricks into my face, because it sounds like a painful experience. I don't want to play a game of mouse accuracy against Clem either, because that's going to sound indeed like a painful experience. Just like for these links, this is going to be a bit of a painful experience as well. Lots of them are dying. Hellions also falling, though. 3 Hellions remain alive, and 4 drones have died during this. Liberator continues to actually deal damage. 6 drones go down in the end. 5 cars and a lip go down. 14 links also die. Honestly, pretty even trades. Don't mind it at all here for either player all that much. Yes, supply currently favoring Solar, but that is pretty common. Solar still needs to invest in a 4th base, maybe even needs to invest into a 5th, so that's a lot of cash that you're spending into things that are not going to be units. Well, Maru already has spent all of his money for basically the next 3, let's say 2.5 minutes, 1.5 minutes or so. So we can just start focusing on producing units. So supply is a good indicator of things, but you also always have to remember what the next investments are going to be and how that will influence the supply, you know, basically in the next minute, minute and a half, maybe even 2 minutes, certain times. 2-2 will start soon for Maru. Don't forget, he's going to be maximizing for a 2-2 timing push. His 1-1 timing push is going to be with, I guess, 16 Marines, Stim, Combat, and 1-1. Which isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it also isn't quite brilliant. It isn't like the hardest hitting build that you can have. Doesn't even really match out properly. That Combat Shield is going to be kind of delayed here. +1 has finished though. That will be a big deal in the trade here against the Queens. Look at how fast they fall. Lots of links being taken out. And that's the one thing you can say, is that against links it's actually super useful. It's kind of a big deal. But yeah, it's just going to get pushed back anyway. Eventually, no Combat Shield there. Sucks, of course, for Maru. He knows that. Mines is a follow-up. We already see these mines have their little red lasers above them. It means that when they burrow and they shoot, they're going to remain invisible. There's actually a straight up Hellbat push as well with it. A couple of mines, Hellbats coming in. Would love to see 2-2 start, but it's not happening. Okay, here we go. 2-2 actually is going to be slower for Maru than it was for Solar, but this push might still have some potential. I said he was going to optimize for a 2-2, but perhaps I was incorrect, as this looks very powerful and honestly, like, it has some real potential. Queens are the only thing remaining right now. One queen's going to get targeted down, second queen's going to get targeted down. Here we go, Maru keeps going. We'll lose a bunch of medevacs and a crap ton of marines as he continues rallying across the map. 66 army supply against 77. No creep whatsoever here on the outside of this base. Hydralisk then is now being constructed, as well as a 5th base, but there's not enough queens to transfuse over here. There's not enough banes. There's no centrifugal hooks yet either. Perhaps Maru can just clear every single unit that isn't a Baneling. Maybe you can even clear the Banelings as well. Huge mine shot here, getting 12 Baneling kills. And that actually means that Maru is going to straight up win this game, I think, if he micros this correctly, which of course he will. Mines burrowing, marine stimming. GG gets called. Maru back into the series with a fast win here on Royal Blood. Gets it to a 3-1 score. Game number 5 on Starchild here between Maru and Solar. Maru once again with that fast barracks over here, rather than that CC first or the barracks into quick command center without any gas. I'm kind of happy to see it, honestly. It worked well enough in that last game. I just want to see some triple CC action. I love triple CCs. Okay, I'm just gonna come out here and say it. I am a fan of 3 command centers built very quickly in succession of one another. And I can't help myself. When I see these 3 CCs so fast, I start feeling things, you know. Getting a little bit excited for the game. I'm like, ooh, this could be interesting. The thing with a lot of double CC builds, a lot of these like fast second gas openers, is that the game ends really quick. Like the first 6-7 minutes are so extremely influential on kind of the rest of the game. It almost feels like the opener is the only thing that matters. And a lot of the time with triple CC builds, yes, you can deal some damage as the Terran player, but it's not straight up a kill. And even if you don't do any damage, it is still a playable situation. You just need to make sure that the creep gets delayed a little bit and everything will be kind of okay. So, yeah, let's just have a look over here and see what's kicking off on the side of Maru. So far, it's just going to be a Reaper. Solar really is one of the kind of the least diverse players, I think. He's a player that has reactionary all-ins, but he's not really the type of guy that opens up with a 12 pool, you know? Or that opens up with a 1-base Baneling bust. Or a 1-base Roach Rush. Or like a 2-base Roach Rush. He just doesn't feel like that type of guy. Once again, triple CC coming out of Maru here, as we have no mining whatsoever, or no SCV being sent to the gas. I think this should be... He's going to build a CC on location. How much gas? Well, what are we doing here, Maru? You're just floating 500 minerals for no reason. Alright, love to see it. I guess even the greats make mistakes after all. I'm curious if this is going to be a similar build order, like with that fast starport, or maybe it's just going to be 2 to 4 Hellions into a quicker second Rex. Kind of like the type of build that Beyond likes to play, rather than focusing too heavily on the harass. Prefer getting a lot of marines out quickly, and then really focusing on the harass with those initial marines. But yeah, once more, fast starport, refinery going down as well, and the late Hellions. That always kind of indicates that you want to focus on that starport unit, and maybe even get 2 starport units here. We'll have to wait and see. Ooh, Reaper goes in, is going to bounce the queen away, gets the kill on the tumor, which is really nice. I mean, it's not going to be game changing, but taking out one of the 2 creep tumors that are active is always going to be a pretty big deal. It's going to force more tumors to be placed down. That means that there's going to be less transfuses later on, and also just that there's going to be less creep in general, which is usually kind of a good thing if you're a Terran player. Viking as the first unit. Once again, kind of risky here. I really feel like Maru is getting away with some of the more greedy build orders purely because Solar is not much of an all-inner. I think that seems to be his one weakness, that he just doesn't do anything in the early game here that truly can scare his opponent. Feels like that is definitely going to be something bad here. I feel like sometimes there is a theory that if you have the ability to play every single build, even if certain builds give you a lower percentage win rate, you should still mix them in sometimes, because they allow your other builds to have a higher win rate. So imagine you have a 60% win rate build and a 70% win rate build, then technically or theoretically it makes no sense to ever play the 60% win rate build. However, if that 60% win rate build boosts the other build up to like 80 or 85%, Or what most of the times happens is that it boosts both of the builds up. So the 60% build goes to 65 and the 70% one goes to like 80. Then it definitely is a good thing to play it. And often the interactions between build orders aren't that easy. But I think it's really important to just be capable of playing slightly worse builds statistically when it comes to the win rate or the ability to put you ahead. Just to make your other build stronger, just to keep your opponent clean, to keep your opponent honest. That is something that Solar has not been doing in this series. It has been working out for him so far, but it seems like Maru has taken a different path over here at this moment. A very greedy path, may I add. Once again, going in with those double eBays before... No, that wasn't before the 3 Rexes. Never mind, I said nothing. He's just building 2 eBays at a standard timing. Nothing going on over here. Quick stim though, and combat shield on the way as well soon. So it's going to be a crap ton of Marines, but not with 1-1. At least not anytime soon. Viking still just patrolling this dead space basically. Now that almost makes me believe that there's going to be something of a drop happening here from the left side. Why else would he be so focused on this particular dead space? Maybe he's just a little bit lazy, he doesn't want to control that Viking, but I know him a little bit. Maru's not a lazy player. He's a lot of things, but not a lazy player. He can be campy and all of that good jazz, but definitely not lazy. Lost 3 cars, by the way. I was wondering how he had so many Marines. It's because rather than going up to 8 Hellions, he only went up to 4. That does mean that he had less harassment potential, but also means he has way more Marines way quicker. He's going to push across the map with these 2 mines and with, 12 Marines over here? Yep, 12 Marines exactly. Viking pushes away this Overlord. We have a Spore on the edge. This is going to fly through creep maybe? Yep, there we go. Queen's moving into position right now. We'll get a couple of good volleys off on this medevac. 1 volley so far. Mine gets taken out basically for free. Mine will connect with these queens, but this was a grand start here for Solar, who is just pulling so far ahead right now. When something like this gets denied and you don't lose anything, you kill some Marines, you get a volley on the medevac, you take out 2 mines basically for free. That is a very good sign. 1-1 almost done as well. Hydra then on the way already, as well as a macro hatch in the main base. Solar is absolutely on point with the inject, is on point with the macro in this series so far, and I'm loving it. I absolutely am loving it. Here comes a double mine drop heading towards the original 3rd base. There's no Spore there, and a single queen won't be capable of stopping this quite. Here we go, 1 mine drop, second one. Gonna make it in towards the natural. 2 workers go down at the 3rd. Plenty of units here, though I don't think this mine drop is going to achieve anything at all. Nope, it's gonna get taken out by these queens here. Viking still in this dead space is gonna eat his 3rd Overlord at this point, as a run by is going to get stopped. 70 workers against 69, not the end of the world for Maru, but needs to be careful as he hasn't started his 2-2 yet. Actually forgot about the armory here, kind of a bad mistake, a dumb mistake. Just a forgetful mistake perhaps. And it's going to delay his upgrade, and now Solar is going to pull ahead in upgrades, perhaps opening up the opportunity for a 2-2 timing attack, whether it's going to be with pure Lingbane or with Lingbane Hydra. Doesn't really matter to me all that much. 35 Marines out on the map. We have 4 mines as well. Second factory has finished up at this point, I do believe. Yep, there we go. No tech lab on it yet. That's definitely going to be the thing that will be built. Oh, here come the mine shots. Big mine shots. Kind of big error as well out of Solar, losing, 11 and 16. These together get 27. 27 links to 2 mines. That's not quite a trade you want to be making at this point in the game. At the same time, a mine gets another shot. Didn't quite see how many that one get. Links will end up killing 6 workers. Obviously not quite good enough for losing as many links as Solar did over here. These guys can morph into Banes. I think that's actually exactly what's going to happen. Such a classic Zerg move. You run away with a small amount of links, you morph them into Banes, yeah. Maru. It's such a classic Zerg move. Not only did Solar do it, I predicted it, and Maru also knew it. So he just walked over there. I was like, alright, I know what you're doing, buddy. Banelings are going to be forced to be cancelled here. So we have 2-2 on the way. Drilling Claws, vehicle plating, mules in the main base. Excuse you, Maru. What is this? Look how hard he's been muling this one patch, by the way. This is a patch that should be about as rich as the other 3 over here. This one has 120 minerals left. This bad boy has 800, and these 2 have, well, about 650 each. It's not quite great when it comes to the mineral distribution, but I adore it as well at the same time. Now, 2-2 is finishing up here for Solar, who's stacking into lurkers right now. He's getting a couple more Banes. Can he get anything done here with 2-2 is the question. Hydra count is growing. Might actually be capable of pushing this back for now. I don't think it's possible. I think Solar's pushed too far back at the moment. Doesn't have a 5th base yet. It's different if you have half the map covered in creep and you have a 5th base up. You know your opponent is, is on their side of the map. But Maru's still split in 2 forces and every fight is just going to be massively off creep. So not really feeling it over here for Solar personally. Maru, even with 1-1 against 2-2, actually winning a fight. And now is going to rotate with a big swing of units towards that left side of the map. Still no 5th base, now going down on, seems to be the 4 o'clock, but that's an extremely unsafe location. There's just no creep anywhere on this map right now. Maru doing a fantastic job taking out creep tumors. 25 have gone down in a 10-minute game. Or perhaps Solar just hasn't focused that much on spreading creep. Mines are going to get the connections, and I kind of am feeling a very good situation here starting to unfold for Maru with a big drop into the main base. Solar not quite aware of it, but is already... no, he's aware of it. He's very aware of it. Lots of banelings moving to the main. Spores will try to take out some of these medevacts, but it's not quite working out. This was a huge drop. 2 Spores still continuously fighting. Might actually cost Maru some of these medevacts. I think 1 or 2 ended up going down there. Not the end of the world though. 5th base flying over already for Maru, who should be thinking of transitioning to Ghost at this point. Already has that Ghost Academy. We see the Cloak being researched, and the first 2 snipers are on the way as well over here. Tank in the far back, Mine in the front, and Marauders tanking the brunt of the Baneling hits. This is looking very, very good for the Terran player here on Starchild. Lurkers have settled in right now. Took some time to get in there. They don't have the adaptive talents yet. Seismic Spine's also not quite done yet, but once that is finished, at least there are stabilizing opportunities here for Solar. 5th base has finished up. This still is at a wonky location, though. I just have to say it. Absolutely wonky location. This is not okay, and I don't think he can actually defend it. There's no pre-split either in this army. We don't see any lurkers on the bottom. We don't even see Bane Ling or any Hydra Ling Bane on that bottom side. He's just moving as a unit, basically, his entire army this entire time. I don't really like this split either. Pureling Hydra on the top side, and then Lurker Bane on the bottom. Seems a bit odd, honestly, but oh well, it is what it is. Link's trying to go for a run by. No, being pulled back at this moment. We have SCVs already being sent to their death right now. That's gotta give Solar some pause. It's funny because these SCVs are just being sacrificed because there were too many SCVs, not because there's 25 orbital commands and Maru, doesn't need the mining anymore. No, he still needs the mining. He's still on 81 workers. He just built too many accidentally. I mean, he was at 91. His army couldn't grow big enough. Nidus network on the way. I really like this plan out of Solar. He realizes he was not in a great spot and says, okay, my 5th base was really late. I struggle staying on the map. What I want to do here is I want to get this Nidus network. I'm going to go into it with a bunch of my lurkers. And then hopefully, he says, ooh, I'm going to be capable of getting into your main base or into your production at some point and kind of get it going from there. We already see a lot of units in the main though. So it seems like Maru is also very well aware of what Solar most likely is going to try. Here we go. Overseer moving in for to deal the final blow, or to deal really the first blow as well as the final. Solar hasn't done all that much yet this game. Overseer's on the edge. It's actually being spotted at this moment in the sensor tower range. Solar's completely focused here on this defense. Look at this. This is like half the army that Maru has. Maru's sending more and more units back, making sure it's properly split. He can't believe that this is the entire army. It looks so weak. It looks so bad. I mean, he scouts absolutely no lurkers. All the lurkers are right now inside of this Nidus network with, what is it, 8 lurkers exactly. Nidus network is going to be thrown down over here. Uh-oh. Maru's units moving in position. Nidus network is going to get spotted, but I do believe that these lurkers will be capable of moving out. Not sure if they're going to be capable of burrowing here as well. Yeah, too little time. Solar did not want to risk it. Banelings get the connections here against the Marines, though. This game might last for a little bit longer. This is a nice flank. I love the way that it's being set up. Needs to split the links. Bad split on the links once again. Solar with very mediocre control on these Ling Bane armies so far in this game. Has lost way more units than he ever should have. Let's not forget about the 27 kills here with the 2 mines. It really was a game-changing moment, I think. Good cancel. Drone is going to end up dying. Not the end of the world, it's just a drone. Cancel happened as well, so it's all fine. Another Nidus network. I'm not quite sure why we're building them in sensor tower range every single time. Feels like the difference between this and this area really isn't all that massive, but perhaps I'm the idiot here. It's completely viable, completely possible. A couple of links are moving towards the bottom side. We still have absolutely nothing here, by the way. Do we get a nuke? No, we don't have a nuke yet. What are you doing? No, we do have a nuke. It's in the units tab. Keep forgetting that a nuke counts as a unit. Alright, here we go. Straight to the screen. I hope no one was watching this in 3D. That's been a really scary moment. Cheeky 3D StarCraft game. Perhaps to the best. Perhaps to the best. Put the ghost over here. Bane's trying to get connections. Good mine shots. Once again, just getting rid of so many of them Banes. Did the nuke actually end up landing? I don't think so. I didn't actually pay attention to that at all. Do we have another nuke on the way yet? No, we don't. Just a single Ghost Academy as well. That's kind of sad. I always love seeing multiple Ghost Academies. It makes me happy. Makes me feel good from the inside. Maru doesn't want them. Just building one. Lots of snipes though. That makes Solar feel real bad from the inside. I can assure you that. There's just not a lot of units left here for our Zerg player. Is every single lurker just... Yeah. These 8 lurkers have just been stuck in this Nidus network for what feels like the past 10 minutes. They haven't really done anything at all. And Solar has been losing every single fight. This is usually not quite how you want to fight. Because, well, they're stuck in the Nidus network. Your best unit is in the Nidus network. That's bad. No! Wait, no, there is adaptive talent. Man, lurkers just burrow really slow. I feel like that could be improved, but oh well, who am I? There we go. Cheeky burrow. Trying to move forward right now, but I just don't think that's really going to be it, is it? No, it's not. Ghost moving in. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a series on our hands here as Maru is pushing in to get the second win in this best of 7 grand finals between Solar and Maru. Oi, 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 oi. Oh, I say that? Slurk's actually doing a lot more than they should. They're doing a significant amount of damage. Surely we have plenty of orbitals though, huh? 7 orbitals. Okay, yeah, this is toast. He's dropping mines? On top of the lurker. Alright, here we go. That's going to be it. Beautiful stuff here. Maru wins game number 5. And after 5 comes 6 as we are here once again on altitude. And after I complained about Maru's greedy play and Solar's basically his lack of abusing that, we finally see some stuff coming out of Solar here with a pool first. This could be for a lot of different things. We're not seeing a fast gas with it quite yet. It could just be a couple of links being sent across the map. But a move like that can potentially be extremely impactful already. Don't forget that. Getting 4, 2 or even 6 links on your side of the map when your Reaper is not there to deal with it could just delay your command center by a bunch of seconds. Loses you an SCV. Perhaps even loses you the Marine. Maybe you want to pull more workers against it and you lose even more SCVs. Like, it's all possible. This is going to be a 6-ling opener, actually. We already see 2 sets of larvae, or well, 2 larvae, which can turn into 2 sets of links. A third set of link, of course, third set of links over here right now. So the third larva popped as well. Once more, no scout out of Maru, and he's going to regret it. Because if you don't scout every single game, then guess what's going to happen, buddy? Someone's going to pull first you. And I would have loved to see a fast roach warren with this. It's not going to be the case, as the gas was delayed. But still, it is something that, in my mind, would have been insanely cool to watch here. No scout out of Maru. Yeah, he's definitely going to live to regret it right now. Reaper's going to start moving across the map. Is most likely not going to end up spotting... Don't know. Right? Nah. No way. Pretty close, though. Pretty close, but not close enough. Things now are going to move up, and there's already a queen over here. We could see metabolic boost start pretty soon as well. This CC is going to be delayed. It's not going to get killed. It's really important to note that. It is absolutely not going to get killed. I don't think that is going to be the goal here whatsoever for Solar either. The goal is just to delay it for as long as possible. Reaper goes home. We do actually see some pretty decisive attacking there. Indeed, SCVs are being pulled. One SCV goes down. Marine is being targeted here as well. A lot of SCVs off the line. CC has been delayed significantly. 2 workers have gone down. Mining time has been lost. Maybe 1 more worker can be killed here before these links will have to go to Zerg Heaven. No, nothing else dies and nothing else matters, except that the factory has been delayed a little bit. I think Solar got a scout on the fact that this was most likely... No, I did actually get a scout on one of the gases. Probably saw gas being returned on one of them. It's hard to say what Solar knows, whether he knows that this is triple CC or if he knows that it's a double gas. Or I'm not so sure what he thinks right now. Still think this is a fine opener for Solar though, no matter what. I really do believe that. It's just going to be a 2-gas opener after triple CC here for Maru. 24 workers against 31. Metabolic boost about to finish up. That means that the Reaper could potentially be taken out here if any amount of links will be built. Reaper's actually kind of running circles around the Queen. Could potentially get a kill here. No. Quick move into a Spore is going to save that one drone. Love to see it. Another drone moving away is also going to get saved. Solar really on point with that drone control. Not entirely on point with the link control against the mines, but I'm going to forgive him for that. Maru is... he really doesn't give a crap, does he? Cheeky Liberator right now, after these initial Hellions. It's just extremely unsafe. I guess he scouted a lot with the Reaper. He saw that there was no Roach-Warren, at least in the main, but he hasn't scouted the natural whatsoever. Like, this is still a risk. It's a significant risk that if at any point Roaches make their way across the map, a Liberator is not what you want. Sure, it's better than a Viking, but it's way, way worse than a Banshee. Banshee is the unit that you want to have in your control, and it's not at all what Maru is getting here. I don't even think that Liberator got spotted. I do believe that Solar saw the lack of attack lab on that starport, which is kind of big already. He knows it can't be Banshees, so it's either going to be a Viking or a Liberator, and we can see that by the positioning of the Spore here in the main base. Spore on the very edge. Could build a Spore on the very edge on the 3rd as well, but that's not quite happening yet. Is the beauty if you know it's not Banshees. You don't need Spores in the middle base, or at least you don't need Spores in every single base. And we see him build on the 2 outside bases for now. Double Evo chambers will be built in the natural location. The Spore finishes up and we'll get to shoot this Liberator twice immediately on Burrows as well, and continues chasing it. Really nice play out of Solar. Just looking to get a catch on this Lib. Queens need to move into position towards the natural. Will not quite be in time. Spore tries to move in as well, and it's also not quite going to be there. Queen from the high ground will be capable of attacking it at the same time. Hellions at the front here. Actually roasting a couple of links, and now this base is completely exposed. Evo chamber on one side, Evo chamber on the next. Is it possible? No. And it's also not necessarily, luckily, here for Solar. Keeps almost all of his drones alive. Liberator moves back in towards the main, but with a Queen and a Spore, this Lib won't get more than 1 kill. Yes, some drone mining has been denied, but if this is the worst thing that's going to happen to Solar, I bet he's pretty stoked about that. 5 Rex is a follow-up for Maru. Solar up in supply. But that is pretty much the standard before the 4th base goes down, of course. Lots of workers still on the way. Triple gases? Straight up going into 5 gas? Ooh. That's kind of scary here. A little bit of oversaturation as well on this base. Well, a little bit. Significant amount of oversaturation on this base. Just has too many workers in general. I mean, 68 workers is too many for 3 bases, even if you're going to go up to the full 6 gases. That is definitely a mistake. He's getting 5, 6 more drones. He's really over-droning hard here, which really has no purpose, as the 4th base is not going to be done quite yet. Creep spread is honestly looking very mediocre. We're 6 minutes and 45 seconds in. We have like 2.5 tumor being pushed out right now. These are the first tumors basically around the 3rd base. That's extremely painful. We hardly have our natural and our 4th connected. This is not a great start creep spread-wise. It is a great start when it comes to the drones, but there's not that many units altogether here. Queen's moving forward right now. Luckily, this isn't a Hellbat attack, because without Banes, actually could have been pretty tricky to hold here. I feel like this is going to deal way more damage than it really should. In my mind, Solar had the tools. He just didn't finish his Baneling Nest in time. If the Baneling Nest was done in time, he could have morphed a lot of these links into Banelings. He's also floating a crap ton of cash. Just doesn't have the larva available. It's going to hold for now, but This felt a lot more scary than it ever should have been. Still 1-1 against 0-0. Combat shield. Oh my god, combat shield has been forgotten. It hasn't been started yet. What a huge error. A blunder here coming out of Maru. That potentially could cost him this game and thus the series. Still trying to target down Bane after Bane. These Marines doing a good job. Helmets are here right now. Combat does get started, but it's a little bit late as all of these Marines are going to get taken out by the Lynx. Queen count has significantly been diminished though. 11 more Banes on the way. No centrifugal hooks, let's remember that. Some of the money right now is getting spent in Queens and upgrades in an Infestation Pit in a Hydra then, but that's a lot of spending here. And not a whole lot of units available for Solar currently. He is moving in to try and get a surround mine. Gets the connection. 3 kills on every single mine. 7 kills on this bad boy though. That brings us to a total of 13 kills over 3 mines. It's Maru once again taking a lead in the game for a 3rd time in a row. Going into the extra barracks already. 2nd factory done. Fort base for Solar has been denied. Has an alternative fort base, but that was supposed to be the 5th here. Even without combat shield, it doesn't matter for Maru. It says, well, if you never get to reach my Marines with your Banelings, having combat shield is actually more of a luxury, if anything. Look at those splits. That was really cool. That looked really cute. I know it was off creep, and I know a lot of Terrans can do it, but Maru splits just hit different. Let me tell you that. Not enough Banelings here, no Banelings. Why do we have Hive before centrifugal hooks? Surely Solar should be aware that he's dying. If you lose your fort base to a bunch of Marines, priority should be on centrifugal hooks, not on Hive. As Maru wins game number 6 and ties up the series, forcing out the rubber match. Welcome, my friends, to the rubber match. The final map in this best of 7. This is kind of what we've been waiting for all night, all afternoon, or all morning, wherever it is that you are. It is the most exciting part in the best of 7 because the winner gets crowned. But let's not wait, what is this? This is the most beautiful Reaper jump spot that I've seen in my entire life. Why would a Zerg ever decide that this is the best main base? For sure, if you're a Zerg player, you look around this map and think to yourself, okay, which base looks the tastiest and the hardest to intrude for the Terran? And then you look at this freaking stairs for the Reaper over here. And you're like, meh, seems like a fine base. Rather than picking this. No stairs for the Reaper on this part of the map. Surely feels better. Surely would feel better, no? Honestly, if I were a Zerg, I would have eaten the rocks and built my hatchery on the spot where there is 10 mineral patches. 1, 2, 5, 1, 5. 5 and 5 is 10. Instead of a base with 8 mineral patches. If there was a Protoss in this best of 7, I'm sure that the Protoss would have started over here, because Protoss players aren't idiots like most Terrans and Zergs. Both of these guys just abiding by the rules. Look at that, in the main base. So cool. Morons. By the way, for the infinite time, we have Maru opening up with a triple CC opener, I think, because we don't have another gas yet. And on top of that, he also did not scout. So, once again, would have been very vulnerable to any type of all-in that could have happened. Literally anything. Any type of all-in. Whether that would have been a Roach all-in or a Link Flood, a 12 pool Roach Ravager. I wouldn't even have cared. If that Reaper would have died, it would have been really cool. But it didn't die. Instead, it got a single kill on a Ling. And I think Solar is going to be somewhat okay with that. Third base is going to be taken in a line formation here as well. Triple CC. Let's have a look at what's happening over here. Beautiful stuff. That's what's happening over here, my friends. Starport as well. God, love to see it, don't you? Absolutely love to see the starport. Third hatchery. And the extra gas. Here we go. If he opens up with another 4 Hellion into a Liberator, I'm actually gonna go into Skype and send Solar a message. It's a classic thing I do. Sending Solar messages on Skype. Asking for favors, which you always do. No one ever messages you on Skype for fun. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Haven't seen you in a while. Figured I'd message you on Skype, the only platform we connected on 5 years ago, when we met at a Twitch after party after we had 9 beers. I'm like, was wondering if you could make a video for my 29-year-old brother. who's a mediocre fan of you, but he really likes Cyril and he saw you in a picture with Cyril. I thought you could make a cheeky 15-minute video, including a song about his hair. For sure, my Skype friend. I will do that for you. Oh, cool, Kevin. That's why I'm my 17th favorite player in the Netherlands. Ah, thanks. Typical Skype request, that is. What else do we have here? Okay, yeah, it's gonna be 4-car into Viking. This actually is starting to upset me a little bit. It's going to allow for a very fast 16 Marine push. Could actually once more go into that double mine shenanigans as well. I really like that out of Solar, or out of Maru. Like the 14 Marine, 12 Marine double mine it was, right? That was actually kind of cool. Triple Overlords on the way and 2 Evo Chamber Scouts. Solar is such a straight up player. That's not a compliment. It's an insult, if anything. It's going up to 4 gases once more. Double Evo Chambers. This man has a freaking template when it comes to playing Zerg versus Terran, and he follows that template. He's a template builder. That's what Solar is. There's a female Karak stuck here in the corner. That's our mating call. And this is the male Karak over here. Also has a mating call. Sadly, the female Karak cannot hear frequencies that low. And that's why the Karak is a dying species in the world of StarCraft. I didn't think you guys would be feeling all these feels with you today. I remember I once read I was gonna say a news article, but then I realized it probably was just a Twitter post of like some whale that tries to speak with other whales, but at a frequency that the other whales can't hear. So no one ever speaks back to him, something like that. Now that I'm telling this, it probably is a fake story, but it also could not be. If it is a fake story, please tell me in the comments. If it's not a fake story, then I already know about it, so you guys don't have to tell about me anymore in the comments. If I don't see anything about it in the comments, I know I was correct. And I'll be telling this for the rest of my life like it was a fact. Ooh, 1-1 Roach. Now we're talking here. Beautiful stuff, Solar. I love that so much. Because Maru has literally been greedy in every part of the game. He's been freaking blind countering the fact that Solar almost never pulls first, and he never roach-all-ins early on in the game, and also he's been blind countering the fact that Solar practically never goes for 1-1 roach. He's been building straight mines out of a reactor factory every single time, and now hopefully it's going to bite Maru in the bum, as roaches are out on the map already. 1-1 is halfway done, Glyle Reconstitution on the way. Now ideally, oh my god, I love the way that Solar is setting this up. Look at this. He's saying, hey, I don't actually want you to know that I'm building roaches. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to defend this with pure queen and then a bunch of links. That way I can hopefully hide my roaches. Now, when he sees the size of this army, he's like, well, you know what, never mind. Actually, you have way too many units. I'm going to need those roaches right away. Let's take a look at the factory. Maru, that's indeed what you need to do. You need to get some freaking tanks out right now. Ling run by to the other side of the map, though. Absolutely fabulous stuff. Nothing at home. No tank, no mines, no marines. 6-7 workers being taken out. I'm not biased. I just like it when greedy players get punished over here. 7 Ravagers are on the way. 1-1 finishing up as well. It's going to be 170 supply of pure roach strength against well, what is this? It's a couple of marines, half a mine, and that's it. First tank hasn't even started yet. Ooh, this looks bad here for Maru. This looks real bad. There was the armory as well that just went down. 2-2 has already started, so it's not the end of the world. Mine is going to get a decent connection with the roaches. Second and third mine also get very good connections. Solar not microing this very well. Biles can just take out the mines. If he were paying attention and being a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical, a couple more SCVs will go down. And Solar... Oh, mine hit to the face. I think he's going to try and kill this. No, he's actually going to try to get up the ramp here. That seems like a... I don't want to say risky, but an interesting play. Let's call it that. Just an interesting play. Just like skydiving without a parachute also would be very interesting. Going up a ramp against Terran has literally never ended well. It's going to get 11 worker kills for now. So far so good, you would say. And still so far so good, actually. Lots of Ravagers dealing a lot of damage. Maybe it's just going to be fine. Skydiving without a parachute, but the plane wasn't flying yet. Just jumped down 2 meters. There was no risk involved here. Oi, oi, oi. Solar picking up the win here in this final game with a beautiful 1-1 roach all in. I love to see it. Oh, there's a lot of risk involved with this. If your opponent opens up with tanks, you're just in a world of trouble. But Solar said, no, you're not opening tanks. You haven't been opening tanks the past few games. You've just been playing these triple CC opener straight into mines like a greedy prick. And now I'm here to punish you for it. 36 workers gone down. 37. As both of the eBays that were researching upgrades will get taken out. The tank on the, what is this, the semi-high ground is not safe. And also doesn't have the range to actually help down here. Now it's back to safety, but I mean, there's just no mining here whatsoever for Maru. 70 supply out of 69. Solar 160 out of 200. Could even transition into lurkers at this point. Throw down an infestation pit, throw down a Hydra then. Could also continue building Roaches and Ravagers forever. Instead we see it transition into a Baneling nest. So it's going to be Roach, Ravager, Ling, Bane. And I think that is the correct call. Start staking out these rocks to take a 5th base. Of course this base has these many different mineral patches. These 10 mineral patches. Double gases, not rich Vespene geysers, regular Vespene geysers. Nothing too fancy here. Don't worry about it. A couple of tanks are being set up right now as 3 drops are being loaded. This is a very risky play. This is a very, very risky play. Oh my god. The thing is, even if it works out, it's not going to be enough, I think. The problem is just that it is... Literally every response that Solar has is going to be good. If Solar sends back everything home, it's going to be fine. If Solar decides to pull the trigger and attack his opponent, it would have been fine as well. The worst thing would be if Solar sends 20 links up this ramp, loses them all, then tries to run back to the Medivacs, then sends 10 roaches up this ramp and loses them all, and keeps doing that until his entire army is gone. Then starts rallying drones across the map and kills his own hive while it's researching. Burrows all of his queens accidentally and then press the F10 and N button. That's literally the only way that Solar will ever lose this game, and honestly all of that seems rather unlikely. Triple Medivacs here are boosting away. I guess the tanks on 2 bases are going to be capable of holding this ramp. I can't believe the fact that Maru believes that he can still win this game either tells me that he's really confident or that Terran might be a little bit broken in the late game. And you think to yourself, on 36 workers, I can get to, you know, as long as I can get to a late game, I'll be fine. And maybe there's something wrong with the late game here. Don't want to influence anyone, of course, but if you have a lot of power in the balance, you know, in the balance team, then be sure to make some notes here. What I'm saying is 100% true. No lies. 5 tanks, 3 of which are on the high ground, 1 of which is on the semi-high ground, which just basically means it's going to be capable of being biled. And then 1 on the low ground over here. More tanks should be in production. Liberators coming in as well. Ultralisk Cavern has started. As I think Solar is gearing up for what seems to me like the final attack. This is a little bit like the fight at the end of the second movie in Lord of the Rings. Except, in this case, the orcs are the good guys. And there's no Aragorn and no Gandalf on the side of the Terran. Yeah, GG, it's golf. This is completely over. Wow! Big win here coming out of Solar, who kind of blasted his opponent for the entirety of this series. I think it's a sign of respect if Maru plays extremely greedy openers against you every single game. If he believes that's the only way he can beat you, then I think that's really cool. And it's a bit of respect. And Solar still wins in the end as well after getting the 3-0 lead. Maru tying it up 3-3. Solar taking that final game. That is going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye bye.